caregivers that can make their lives more comfortable and perhaps even help us be more comfortable as we're caring for them. So these slides are going to look very busy with lots of pictures, but I felt like that was the best way to offer what is available. And we'll talk about things kind of briefly, individually as we're going through the presentation. So wow, that's busy, huh? I had a lot of fun just Googling everything that might be helpful for someone that's caregiving for an animal. And I picked primarily dogs and cats for this because a lot of these tools can be modified for other species as well. And many of our group participants are caregivers for dogs or cats. So we're focusing a little bit on this, but if there's other species that are of interest, we can talk about them at another date. So many of us that are caregiving, especially for older or patients that have chronic illnesses, notice that our loved ones have some mobility challenges. And that can be really hard when they are having to navigate the world, especially our homes, and go about their normal routines in a state where they're not as mobile as they may have been in the past. So I kind of did a smattering of mobility aids that can be helpful for us and for our animal companions. You'll notice in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a little doggy in a bag sling. This is a product that actually I use for my own little Frenchie who has mobility concerns so that she can still go out on walks with us and go into the woods for hikes. Most smaller dogs and even cats can adapt to being carried in this type of a sling pretty quick and easy. It's not hard on their joints, so they can rest comfortably, whereas some of the other backpacks that have hard bottoms can be uncomfortable for patients, especially if they have hip pain or arthritis. Right next to that, you'll see a little Frenchie in a wheelchair. Wheelchairs for mobility are starting to become much more common in our animal companions. They can be made to fit that particular dog or cat, or there's even some general sizes that can be adjustable. And you'll see in one of our later slides, you can even make them at home DIY because some of the pre-made or made to custom wheelchairs that are commercially available can be quite expensive. So it's nice to have an option or at least plans to make one yourself at home. Right above the little Frenchie, you're going to see 3 little paw stickers. These are great too. We use these in our household. They are grippy stickers that you just put on the pads that offer just a little bit of extra traction if your animal companion is a little weak. They work for cats and dogs. I will say they don't hold up well to wetness. So in the winter, we have to replace them every day, but they can be really, really helpful. And then most of us, when we're thinking about what we can do for an animal companion that can't get around quite so well, is something like stairs or ramps up to the furniture. And they have some new stairs out that are specifically made for kitties that have like hidey holes and scratching posts above them. So you'll see that right beside the words on this slide is one of those kitty specific stairs. And then strollers, right? Do you take your kitties out in a stroller for a walk? You can take your dogs out into a stroller so that they can still get that mental enrichment. You can get some physical activity as well as some mental enrichment from being outside, but they're safe and protected and they don't have to work hard to go on those walks. In my cat friend circles, these kitty pouch hoodies are a really big thing. Everybody has them and wears them around the house and puts their kitties in the pouches. And some of them even have warming pouches in there. So you can just cart your kitty around while you're going about your everyday activities and they can be warm and snuggled right next to you. So a few ideas for things that you can do for your loved ones to help them be more mobile, or at least help them experience the world with you how they may have used to, but just in a modified capacity. So along with mobility, modifications for sleeping is really important too. Many of our chronically ill animals don't rest as well as they used to. We can see a lot of sleep disturbances. And for those of us that aren't fighting the same types of health battles, just having them be restless can make us restless too. And then if we ourselves have a chronic illness and our animal companions are battling a chronic illness, then that just compounds the problem of sleep and comfort. Amazingly hard it can be for families. So just a few quick ideas. In my household, we have our mattress on the floor because everybody sleeps in our bed, and there's always a concern that somebody might not be able to get up or might fall. And so we happily have the mattress on the floor, so it's easy for everyone to get up. Um, if you prefer or you require a mattress that's normal height or even higher, these little in the middle, you'll see the little gray bed that has legs. These are pretty great. They just fit right on your mattress, and that way your animal companion can safely sleep with you. You can be right there to monitor their sleep or if anything is going wrong. And it has the little railing so nobody is going to fall out of bed, which is always a big concern. And there's multiple different companies and ideas and designs for those lifted mattress side beds. Sometimes we just need to have them sleep in the other room where they don't want to be in the same room as us, and we need to respect that too. But if you're like me and a very nervous animal parent, having some access to see what they're doing without getting up every 10 minutes, every hour to check on them can be really helpful. So these little in the middle, you'll see the child on the screen. That's a baby monitor that you put in with them, and it transmits directly to your phone or to a video monitor next to you. And you can have the video on or off, and you can have audio on or off. So if somebody's crying to go out to go potty, they can wake you up that way, but not be in the same room with you. So that can give you a bit of distance and hopefully help you sleep easier, but still know that if something were to happen, you would be awakened and be able to address that. For my household, we have bulldogs and they don't breathe well and they sound really loud. And so having a white noise machine in the room with us helps all of us sleep a little bit better so that we're not kept awake by snoring all the time. It's easy to find sound machines that also have little night lights on them, which can help, especially in patients that have cognitive dysfunction or dementia signs. Having a little nightlight can help their sleep cycles and help them wake up and feel less panicked because they're able to orient themselves. They are unobtrusive nightlights, so hopefully we would try to keep them from waking us humans up. And then, especially for dementia patients, kitties or dogs, having a area that's safe and confined for them to sleep in, where they have access to their food and water as long as it's safe for them to have that access, and some place to go potty just in case they don't get to make it outside, can be really helpful. And the pens are great because you can tailor them to your space, make them as big or as small as they need to be, and also move them around quite easily. And you can even attach those baby monitor cameras to the pin so that they're sturdy and safe, and then you can still keep an eye on your little one. The other thing that we think about is grooming, right? Oh, yeah. Denise knows a little bit about this. Grooming our chronically ill or elderly loved ones can be difficult, whether they are human or animal. And so thinking about ways that we can make that process easier on them and especially easier on us as their parents can be really helpful. These days, there's lots of foldable, small dimension grooming tables that you can put smaller animals on so that you're not laying on the floor with them and getting really sore or bending over trying to do the brushing. So I like that they're foldable. I have a smaller space, and that way you can just tuck them away into a corner or a closet. Same with the foldable bathing tubs. If your animal won't necessarily fit in the sink or doesn't feel comfortable in the sink, a bathing tub that's foldable could be a good option to keep them clean. They also have cleaning vacuums I don't know if you guys have seen these. A lot of them are geared toward cat parents. They have multiple different brush attachments so that you can groom them and brush them, but you're not getting fluff all over the home. So it helps us as their parents to keep things a little bit more contained and clean. Of course, you can use them on long and short hair dogs too, but a lot of them are cat focused. Grooming gloves also are really, really nice. So not only are you grooming them, they might not even realize that you're grooming them because you could just be having your regular snuggle time, by getting that done as well. Especially kitties that are adverse to something like a comb, the grooming gloves can be really, really helpful for them. And you'll see in the bottom corner that there's attachments that you can just put onto your regular faucet, any faucet, that have a shower head on them that can be really helpful for grooming too, especially for animals that are worried or afraid of the strong noises or high pressure of a faucet or a regular shower. These attachments can be much more comfortable for them and for us as their people so that we can stand up rather than standing down to get their grooming done. Another big thing that we use a lot in our household are washable, waterproof pee-pee pads, and you'll see those up in the upper corner. Wow, these have been a game changer for us. One of our little dogs has some urinary incontinence, but it's very intermittent. We never know when it's going to happen. So it's not necessarily in her best interest to have to wear a diaper all the time, but we can line her space with these washable pee-pee pads. And when we go camping, we just put them on top of all of our camping bedding so she can still sleep with us, but we're all protected out in the wilderness. And then, of course, there's DIY stuff that you can do. And this is just a quick smattering of things that we can make at home to help to save on cost. Um, on the upper corner, you'll see a DIY no-sew dog sling to help with mobility. That is just made out of a grocery bag, and you just cut two of the ends off, and then you can slip that underneath your dog or your cat, and you have handles, and you can help them navigate that way. Fantastic. I'm going to be using this for a lot of my hospice patients. We also have a DIY make your own pen with PVC pipe there at the bottom. It's a little bit more complicated in a longer video, but hey, it's a kind of cool idea because you can probably get PVC to fit the space at a half to quarter of the cost as it would be to buy the already made pen like that. And you can even more tailor it to your space. And then I had no idea that you could make your own white noise machine, so I just thought that that was a fun thing to put in there. um, Most of us have some sort of digital ability to stream music or YouTube or something like that, but it's an interesting thought to make your own rain machine. And then you'll see a little link in orange below the text on this slide. This is a pretty great website if you don't know about it. It's an open source, anyone can post tutorials, and there's a million different ideas and DIY instructions and plans and schematics and videos for what you can make at home. And it's a nice jumping off point so that you can have a baseline and then get creative to meet your needs and your animal's needs and the space's needs. So just a quick recap. All of these things can definitely help our animal companions, but they can also help us at the same time. The lifting assistance is a big one. We don't want to throw at our backs while we're putting our dog or cat companion up on the bedding or when we're putting them into the sink or getting them out to go potty. So using these assistance devices can be really, really helpful. The ramps and the smaller stairs, we have them all over our household. Any furniture that anybody sits on, there's a little stair to get up to that. And for a while, we didn't have any commercially built stairs. We would just pile throw pillows up into a ramp, and that worked really, really well for our small dog. And then the wagons and the strollers really gets you and your animal companion out experiencing the world when maybe you might not be able to do that or feel comfortable doing that if they can't come with you under their own power. Ultimately, we just have to be creative and help each other as the human and the animals in the household go about our daily lives. And sometimes aids will help with that. That's it.